Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Entity Frost, a professional 2.6 hog player, and this video is going to be a masterclass against Royal Hog's Earthquake. So how does this matchup fare against 2.6 hog? Well, first of all, the main problem is our opponent's Earthquake, which will be pretty tough for us to defend, especially since we have cannon. And the second thing is that they have cannon for our Hog Rider. Now, this is usually not a problem, but because they have a fast cycle, it's usually pretty hard to break through unless you do something crazy or catch them off guard. So at the start of this game, you want to cycle your cards and just to see what cards they have, right? So I go in with Ice Golem here, and I was almost expecting them to play cannon or something because they played Ice Spirit, so I thought they were playing like probably some sort of like, you know, Expo deck or even like 2.6 hog as well, right? So I was expecting them to play cannon, which is why I went Hog Rider opposite lane. And now that he played Archer Queen, I'm pretty sure he's playing Royal Hog's Earthquake. So at this point, what should we do? Well, first of all, the way to defend Archer Queen isn't to just Fireball, because it's not going to fully counter it. And even Fireball and Log doesn't fully counter it. So you've got to be careful about that. Now here I kind of messed up. I was supposed to play Skeletons. I probably should have played Skeletons a bit like higher, so the Archer Queen didn't hit my Musketeer. But anyway, we go in with Hog Rider. And the reason I went with Hog Rider here is because I wasn't exactly sure if he had cannon back in hand, because he was playing, like, he had Ice Spirit. I wasn't sure if he had cannon, but even if he plays cannon, that's fine. And the main thing with this matchup is knowing how to defend his Royal Hogs properly. So you can see he has Royal Hogs in his hand right now. He's probably going to play it. And the way we defend this is, well, first of all, if they play split Hogs, we definitely need to play cannon, otherwise the Hogs will just connect. And then we can play Musketeer. So even if they play Earthquake, that's all we need to do. We just need to play cannon and then Musketeer. Now we will take some damage, but we're going to have a Musketeer on the map, and you know, we can pressure him even more. So depending on what he does now, which is probably just playing some, you know, Skeletons, now we can go in, and I'm going to activate the... Actually no, I'm not going to activate ability because he has Archer Queen. If he didn't play Archer Queen, like if he just played cannon, I probably would have activated the Hero Ice Golem ability because of how it can just slow everything down. If he plays like whatever he plays, basically, we can just slow it down and probably get a hit. But because he played Archer Queen, it's not going to be worth it. Now, either Musketeer snipes the Archer Queen, and he tries to play Ice Spirit to, you know, like get rid of our final shot, but it doesn't really work because the Archer Queen doesn't connect anyway. So you just kind of wasted an Ice Spirit. And now notice how I immediately go in here because I know he doesn't have cannon. See, in this matchup, you need to understand, you need to like count where, like how many cards they have until they get their cannon back. So he just played cannon there, so obviously he doesn't have it back, which is why I quickly cycled back to my Ice Golem and then Hog Rider. And realistically, the only thing he can do here is like delivery and then Log and maybe like Skeletons, right? But we're still gonna get, you know, a hit or two. In this case, we only got one hit. Like, he even played cannon at the last moment, but it doesn't really do anything because our Hog Rider already connected to his tower. So now it's a pretty close matchup, and what you'll notice with this matchup is a lot of the times it's kind of like a high skill showdown, like whoever has more skill, because we're both playing cycle decks and we both have cannon and we both have like Hogs, or like he has Royal Hogs, but we have Hog Rider. So it's kind of like, it's pretty similar. The decks are pretty similar. So it all just depends on who has the most skill, basically. Now, here, he played Royal Hog split, and he split 3 on the left and 1 on the right. Now, even though it's like uneven, we still need to play cannon to kite the hogs together. And the reason I played Fireball here on the Archer Queen is because I wanted to get rid of the Archer Queen. And you can see that he tried to ability, but we just log it. Like, I predicted his ability. And now I just went in because why not? Because wait, I had a musketeer here, so just to pressure him. But the thing is, he can very quickly cycle back to his cannon, so it's kind of hard to break through with Hog Rider. The main thing you want to do is understand like how behind his cycle is, to see if you can actually like play Hog Rider, because like of course we do have a faster cycle than him at the end of the day, so we can still outcycle his cannon. And sometimes we can even play Fireball to predict his cannon and get damage that way. Now you can see again, I played even Musketeer again to snipe his Archer Queen, which worked. Now he didn't play ability, which is kind of interesting. I guess it didn't really matter. Like, he could have played Skeletons after he played ability to tank for my final Musketeer shot. And you can see how I'm just cycling quickly back to Hog Rider again, just to keep pressuring him. But honestly, he defended pretty well here, so I can't really do anything. And this matchup usually just comes down to spell cycle and also getting, like, catching your opponent off guard, basically. Like, for example, here, I suddenly went opposite lane, and he has to react to that. Now, of course, he gets surprised, and he doesn't have his cannon. And just look how much damage I got from that. So now I'm just gonna focus on the left tower. And here, I didn't have Fireball because I just Fireballed here, so I don't have Fireball for the Royal Hogs. But I can just play cannon. And here's the thing, I play Musketeer on the left side because I'm gonna go on the left side now, right? So if I play on the left side, he has to respond to my Musketeer. So he's gonna have to spend more elixir on the left side, which means he can't spend as much elixir to attack on the right side. See how he played Archer Queen right there? That's because my Musketeer was right here. Or because he just wants to like prevent me from playing Hog Rider. But now I'm like, okay, I want to actually like be able to prevent him from playing Hogs, so that's why I played Musketeer on the right side. So it's really just a game of like decision making, like which side do you want to be on right now? Like, do you want to focus on defending or do you want to focus on attacking? Now here there's 10 seconds left, so I just spell cycle and stall his hogs and win the game like that. Now this was a very close game, but there are a few takeaways from this video. The first one being that you really want to pressure your opponent even though like they have cannon. Of course you can't like do it just one Hog Rider and nothing else to support it. But the reason, like you can see, I always like go in with Ice Golem because that will force out an extra response such as Archer Queen. And in a lot of the times, especially in single elixir, I can actually cycle back to my Hog Rider again when he doesn't have cannon. Like for example, in this case, I cycled back to Hog Rider and he doesn't have cannon back. And that's how I got a hit. So it's just pressuring your opponent until he doesn't have his cannon back in cycle. And the second takeaway is whenever he plays hogs split at the bridge, you pretty much always want to play cannon in the middle to kite them, otherwise they'll just connect to your tower. And of course you want to utilize your Fireball well, so don't just randomly Fireball. Like for example here, this was a good use of Fireball, but if I had like, you know, Fireball his cannon here, then that wouldn't really do much for me because he can just play hogs at the bridge and I wouldn't really have that much to defend. Of course I can play cannon, but like if I didn't have cannon then I'd probably be screwed. So against this matchup, it's really important to understand your opponent's cycle and also to basically keep pressuring them until they make a mistake. Basically, there's not really like that much you can do against this matchup. It's pretty much just like whoever has the most understanding of the game. And of course, sometimes you can surprise your opponent by going opposite lane when they don't expect it. And this is useful for two reasons. The first reason is because it puts their focus on the other side of the map. Like here, my right side tower is lower HP, right? So if I play on the left side, then he's gonna have to focus more on the left side, which means that he won't be able to spend as much to attack me on the right side. So that'll just like even things up for a bit, basically. And you see how for the rest of the game, I start to like pressure him on the left side, so he can't actually build up a push on the right side. So that's pretty much the end of this video. If you found this video helpful, be sure to join my free community. I made a free community for 2.6 hog players. It's in the first link in the description, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.